Welcome back, viewers. We've left of the last question was about IVA, DRO, CCJ, bankruptcy, etc. And we're going to come back to our brother Sabur Khan again. Will there be any negative effect on credit rating if opting for IVA, DRO, CCJ, etc.?
Yeah, it will impact your credit history and your likelihood of obtaining further credit. It'll be on your credit file for 6 years if you were to go for IVA, say.
So it'll be on the credit file for 5 to 6 years?
Yes, 6 years at the least.
Which makes it difficult to obtain further credit?
Yeah, it does. I mean, although, say you went bankrupt, you have a fresh start after 12 months, then for the next 6 years, it's going to be hard for you to obtain credit. You have to build your credit history up slowly. So it is, yeah, that's the negative side of, you know,
going into these. Okay. There's so many debt management companies out there. What are the difference between those debt management companies and the charity debt management companies?
Well, the debt management company, they're free. Oh no, they're not free. Sorry, beg your pardon. The charities, they offer the free service, but debt management companies, they take a fee from you. They will manage your your creditors for you. With charities, I mean, why people go to debt management companies, they don't want the hassle of paying each individual creditors themselves. The debt management company usually takes all the stress from you. You go to them with your debt issues, they'll negotiate with your creditors, set up a payment plan for you and carry on paying. You'll be paying the debt management company and they will pay all your creditors. With charities, few of them that I know, they expect you to set up a standing order, a direct debit to pay your creditors. A lot of people don't want the hassle. They don't want to go to the bank. They don't want to set up the
with an external debt management company.
Yeah,
they do all that for you.
They do all that. Yeah, they sort of provide a one-stop solution for you. But with charities, they tend not to.
How is the fee charged? You know,
well, it's
how does it range?
It's with the fees are charged. I mean, each company is different. They'll charge an admin fee first of all to set up your debt management plan. Then they will each month they will take administration cost from your payment. So, for example, you might be paying £100 a month to the debt management company, but about £70 would be going to your creditors, £30 to the debt management companies. A lot of creditors take exception to that, saying, "Why are you paying them? You should be paying us. You know, you're offering us £5 a month, but you're paying the debt management company £30." So, okay, sometimes there is issues with creditors. Okay. In that respect.
Can business owners opt for debt management in their businesses or if their businesses are in debt?
Well, they can. I mean, if you're self-employed or a sole trader, you can. I mean, remedies available are like IVA or bankruptcy, DRO, or even debt management. I mean, but if you're a limited company, there's a company voluntary arrangement they can go into, which is similar to the IVA. So there are solutions available for them. But then again, it depends on if it's what type of debt is the priority. If it's a business mortgage, then you know, bankruptcy might not be options there for you. So you have to look at the what type of debt it is and then tailor the solution to that.
Okay, if a High Court sheriff turns up at the door demanding payment, is there any way of stopping that?
I mean, again, it depends really on what you know, I mean, what level of enforcement is there? But usually, I mean, you could try to negotiate a payment plan with the High Court enforcement officer. If that doesn't work, then you could apply for a stay of execution on a Form N-244 and send it off to the courts. And that would probably stop proceedings. But then again, it depends on, you know, if it's regarding a possession of your property and they've got I mean, court order to evict you, then there's not much you can do.
I understand. Can someone apply for IVA if it's a government issue debt?
Government issue as in, can you elaborate? Like
maybe tax, they haven't paid the tax or?
Tax is covered with IVA. Council tax is covered as well. Student loans, magistrate court fines, if you were to have maintenance, child maintenance, if that was outstanding, then some of the fines aren't covered.
Okay.
But most majority of fines are covered,
Okay.
like tax
Okay.
and council tax and so on.
What advice would you give people in debt? What would you?
Seek advice, ASAP, be more proactive in dealing with your debt, don't suffer in silence. Seek advice, there's a lot of information available online, CAB, or there's companies, I mean, shows like yours who sort of, you know, are there to help really. If someone watching today might, you know, they might be in debt, they could, they probably, you know a bit more how to deal with it. But yeah, be more proactive in dealing with it. You don't have to suffer in silence. It's not the end of the
It's
world.
best not to be shy about it and
Yeah.
actually go about dealing with it.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. And what advice would you give people to not to get into debt?
Advice, I mean, don't live within your means, don't overspend, keep track of your spending, budget. It only takes a few minutes to budget. Shop around, not just groceries, but shop around for insurance, car insurance, house insurance, your utilities as well. It's always price comparison websites and things like that.
I was told by a very prominent businessman once that it's the very little expenses that you need to deal with in businesses and try and save money in those little expenses that you do regular, and by the end of the year you realize you've actually saved a lot of money.
That's right. I mean, I remember about 15 years ago doing car insurance. You sit down with the yellow pages and you phone all the companies up. You write down. But now it's, you know, this price comparison website. Just put your details in. Anything insurance, car insurance, utilities, even credit cards. There's a lot of credit cards offering 24 months, no interest on it. I mean, you could always move your cards around. I mean, it only takes about an hour to a week at the most, but you can save quite a lot of money, and it does make a difference. Maximize your income as well. Check your benefits entitlement.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Sabukhan.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to come back to Mr. Khosrow. Can I ask the question, in terms of someone who's in debt and they need some help, what would be the procedures and what would you advise and guide them on?
First thing is get in touch with your creditors.
Okay.
Like, for example, your bank or the credit company. They are there to help you because if you're in any sort of problem, they want you to get in touch with them and they are to help you, basically. Secondly, right, if there's, like, for example, there's a, as Sabur said, there's a charity company, then the debt management company. But my advice or the lender's advice, if you get into any problem, first thing is to get in touch with the lenders.
Okay.
And when the letters come, please do open the letters. All right. And you'll say any statement or credit card statement or loan statement saying if you have any problem, there's a number there to phone them and they'll help you.
Yeah. One of the important thing about opening letters is, and I've heard of this as well, people don't realize that even if it's a credit card or something that's unsecured, they effectively make that secured by going to court and putting it against your house or something if you've got a property, you know, and if you don't attend, then this is what that can happen, a decision taken against you that you probably would have avoided by going to the court. Is that right?
Yeah, that thing could happen. It doesn't happen overnight, but if you ignore the letters or if you don't get in touch with them, over time, you could be taken to court, put a charging order in your property, and that charging order will stay until the day you sell.
You've actually paid it off.
Sell the property, right? Because they're probably going to ask you for payment and all that. But at the same time, once the charging order is put on, right, the lender could force you to sell the house as well. That's in the long process.
Okay.
That's
okay. Now, another question on the payday loan. I know we've covered it. Can you tell us a bit of information on payday loans?
full stop, one word I'll say, not to get involved with the payday loan. Payday loan is one of those things, right? Unfortunately, is old day style, right? Because the percentage are
Horrendous.
is up to 4,500% in some companies. Four and a half thousand.
4,500%.
I heard earlier on it's 1,500% or something like that, but some companies it could be 4,500%.
Wow.
And the thing with the payday loan is it's easy to get, but it's difficult to pay. When I say difficult to pay, imagine 4.5% on say £500. And the thing is, right, these are payday loan are not like the banks, right? If you don't pay, they could turn up on your door and it could be threatened, this and that. And I've heard of cases like that.
Okay,
And
so,
it's easy to get, it's difficult to pay.
yeah, well, we're 4,000%. Thank you very much for your time, gentlemen. Okay, now I'm going to come on to our expert, our advocate, solicitor, Mr. Shamuddin. My first question to you is the threshold for bankruptcy.
Well, the threshold for bankruptcy at the moment has recently been changed from £750 to £5,000. What that basically means is this. If you owe somebody less than £5,000, they cannot make you bankrupt. Before, the threshold was £750. So if you owed somebody £750 and more, you can make them bankrupt. Now, if it's below £5,000, they cannot make you bankrupt. And the same way, if you want to declare yourself bankrupt as well, then the same threshold applies.
Okay, so you need that sort of debt in place before you can
Yeah.
start the process. What's the difference between IVA and bankruptcy?
Well, I think what somebody just explained to you is this. A bankruptcy is when somebody forces you and makes you bankrupt. IVA is when you know you can't pay your debt, you then enter into a voluntary arrangement with your creditors and say to them, look, I'll pay you by installments and like that. Whereas if you're bankrupt, that's it. What happens is when you're bankrupt is your affairs are dealt with by somebody known as a trustee in bankruptcy who will gather in all your debts and then pay them off if you have any assets. With an IVA, you don't get bankrupt. You basically arrange to pay your debt over a period of time.
Okay.
And there are limits to that. But just
I was just going to ask, you know, the IVA, I mean, I was told if someone takes out an IVA, although it's not bankruptcy, but they're paying the debt, maybe the interest is frozen, whatnot, but however, it actually burns the credit file totally.
well, why do you need a credit file? Once you've reached a stage where you cannot pay your debt, it is unlikely that other people will lend you money anyway, regardless of whether you're bankrupt or not. But I think one thing maybe you need to clear, and maybe it might sound controversial, but it's not, that's not the reason I'm saying it. But having debt isn't a bad thing. What people don't realize this, without debt, you won't be able to buy your house. How many people have £150,000, £300,000, or £80,000 in the back pocket to go and buy a house?
Exactly, yeah.
If people don't have debt, they can't have a car. If
That's
they don't
why I
have
say
a debt,
it makes and breaks, yeah.
No, but the thing is, most countries, like the United States of America, has substantial amount of debt. The European Union has a substantial amount of debt. Debt is the reason why you are able to do certain things. The question isn't debt, it's
Just going to go to the break now, so I'm going to come back to that actually. Viewers, please tune in and see you after the break.